Okay, so review of the Maimer. The first ice, just to review it. So the Shilas were this is based on the Maimer of the Rebbe Rashab of the Atofish Nun Dalit, 70 years before this Maimer. This was the second Maimer that Rebbe said that Fabrein. This was the Maimer Kein Sicher. So the first Shilas is that Hachodesh Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah, which incorporates the 12 months of the year. That's why it's called Rosh Hashanah. The head and then the Chayes Kololi from the head breaks down to 12 months, and each month 30 days. So Rosh Chodesh Tishrei would appear is the Rishon. So how are we saying here that ניסן is the first month for the months of the year? Okay, that was the general shaila. Now in Proteus, I see they're sending us to Chelik Yud Zayin. I didn't look there because it's not so clear exactly what the question here is or what he's taking apart. But let's look at it again. So the Proteus, there's two inyanim. One, that ניסן is the first month, Rosh Chodeshim, and the second thing that ניסן is Rishon l'Chodshei Hashana. Now, what's the difference between these two things? So he spells it out a little bit for us. The question here is that Chodesh Tishrei is called Rosh Hashanah. So this problem that Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah is a problem with respect to the fact that Chodesh ניסן is considered month number one. That's a problem because Rosh Hashanah is the highest of all the 12 months, so it stands above all the months. And secondly, the statement Rishon Lochem l'Chodshei Hashana is not just the first, but has no relationship to the rest. It's the first, but it's the first of the Chodshei Hashana. That implies Hamshacha there too. Rosh Hashanah is the one that has the protistic Hamshacha and Chayis for the whole year. So that's this nuanced question. Number one, it shouldn't be the first, and certainly not the head that it has ashpa on the other months. Rosh Hashanah does. The pasuk is saying, by saying the word Rishon Lochem l'Chodshei Hashana, the pasuk is clearly saying that there's Hamshacha from ניסן for the whole year, but surely that's Tishrei. Okay, so it's clear. Yeah? The two details of the question. Furthermore, what's the Lochem? And he says it twice. The word Lochem could have been omitted altogether, and it's twice. So that's a wrap to Eis Beis. Akeda is a Kabbalah Sefer. Written by the Svardish, one of the Svardish Mekabolim. The sefer is called Akedah Yitzchak, but it's called the Bala Akedah. That's how it's referred to. The sefer is called the Kitzer Akedah. So there's two ways. There are two ways we can see the greatness of the Creator. The first way of seeing the greatness of the Creator is looking at nature, God's conduct as He's expressed in nature. Where do we see the greatness? Now, when he says here the greatness, it doesn't mean the intelligence. I mean, greater than that. As you learned in the previous Maimer, that greatness is really something bligvul, infinite. So aside from seeing, when you look at design and the more complex the design, obviously it points to the intelligent designer. But that's not Gdulas HaBoida. Gdulas HaBoida is Hashem is infinite. So we can see that Gdulas, not just there is a Boida. You can see that there's a creator by looking at the design. So you see there's intelligent designer. But Gedulas HaBoire, that's already the Eibush to be infinite. Ein Sof. So Taka, we can see that also in creation. How? That creation itself, notwithstanding the fact that on one hand it's limited, but we see it continues uninterruptedly and without change. For example, like as heaven and earth are strong as they were the day they were created, and the nature of nature is to diminish over time, and they don't. That's kayomim be'ish. So that's the individual creations remain, endure, unchanging. Then there's also kayomim b'min, the fact that species continue to perpetuate the creative, the ability to create, to reproduce, all of this. That's why he says kamoi, for example, because he's not identifying, but alluding to the other inyan. That's kayomim. That's it. We have another maamer. I think I have one. One second. It's okay to share, but I think I have one here. Yeah. The fact that creation remains undiminished, not eroded by the passage of time, as it were. So this expresses the infinite. So it comes out. Shagamba negative is looking even at the natural conduct of the world, the way God conducts it. That its overt source is Mamaluk Alalmin, meaning to say Hashem's descriptive and finite attributes, giving rise to a descriptive and finite world. Nonetheless, even in Mamaluk Alalmin, Royim Gilikoi Abilti Mugbal, peeking through, as it were, just upon analysis, upon observation, we can see the Koich Haliki, the divine energy, which is boundless, built-in. Aval, however, this is all the first category. Afa begin nonetheless. This infinite power is still measured to it and is seen in the conduct of creation, which is a systematic, finite conduct. So that's one way. That's one way we can see the Gedulas HaBoire, Gedulas again, the Koich Ein Sof. Leifin HaBeis, in a higher way, is Manhoga Nisis, when Hashem performs miracles, like the crossing of the Exodus and Kriyas Yamsuf. She said, Leifin Shel Shidud Maroches HaTeva. Maroches means the order, the arrangement. The marocha, the wood pile on the mizbech, is called the marocha. So shidud means it takes it apart. It implodes the structure, the order of nature. And you see that transparently in a miracle. And where does this come from? Hashem is revealing His infinite power. The transcendent revelation of Hashem, transcendent power. This is a revelation of His infinite light, literally His infinite power. Summarizing from the Akedah, the first meditation, the first appreciation, even though we see that this is something infinite, that creation perpetuates, as it were, endlessly, in procreation too. So like the child is weaker than the source, not sometimes stronger. And so too, the example that he brings here is the kayomim be'ish, that heaven and earth remain undiminished. It's not an actual revelation. One has to ponder it, consider it only after time. It takes a long time of observing it. Hey, there's no change here, so this is something extraordinary. But a miracle doesn't require any analysis. You observe it, you see immediately that this is Koich HaBligvul. But the second way, which is the miraculous revelation, the miracles, there the Ein Sof, which is hiding Teva, beyond the whole system, you see it clearly in the miracle. And here lies the difference. They're both heads. They're both beginnings in their own right. Rosh Hashanah and Chodesh ניסן. But they are heads of very different divine revelations. That which we say Rosh Hashanah is called the head, that incorporates the life force of the whole year, even the Ein Sof. Still, that is with respect to Hashem conducting and expressing himself, investing himself in a natural way. But miracles in Chodesh ניסן expresses the pure Ein Sof, the transcendent mamish. And it's the beginning of the year and connected to the year, the Chiddush. Mamshich levar, and the Maimon, this is the Maimon of the Rabbi Rashab, goes on to explain. Yeah, Maimon of the Rabbi Rashab. Shebeiz Eifanim Anal, these two Eifanim, in brackets, Hanog and Tishri, the natural conduct, which is Tishri. Hanog and this is the miraculous conduct of Hashem, Sheben ניסן, which is expressed in ניסן. So there are two ways that Chachma and Bina unite. Now, without going into Narichis, the union, the Yichud of Chachma and Bina, and likewise the Yichud of Zon, Malchus, and the endless Yichudim, are all integral to producing creation. Just like here in this world, creation is produced by the Yichud of the male and the female. That all begins with the Yichud, Hashem Yichud. Kuchabricha Shechinte is already Zon Malchus, but it all starts with the Yichud of Chachma Bina. So to put this in simple, uncomplicated, and unkabbalistic language. So Hashem creates the world, but in that creation, there's two things going on. There's the external dimension and the pnimistic dimension. And the pnimistic dimension is the kavanah pnimius. And the external dimension is just what's going on overtly, creation. And that's what he means. That yichud, there's a yichud chitzoni v'yichud pnimi. There's the yichud chitzoni of Chachma and Bina, and there's a yichud pnimi of Chachma and Bina. Again, not going to arichas. Yichud chitzoni means harmony. One contributes to the other. There is the flow of Chachma as it unites with the Bina, and the Yichud Pnimi means they become essentially one. And the difference, where does this manifest? The difference is Shayichud Chitzoni, the external Yichud Chachma Bina, that's enough to create the world. That produces a world that conducts itself in a natural way. And that conveys b'pchinas a malak al-almin. That's a malak al-almin because, and that's to be expected, two things can't become one. They harmonize, they complement each other, they don't become one. The yichud zehu told that this chitzonius yichud is constant and produces a beautiful, even harmonious world. But harmony still means that each individual component of creation remains distinct and separate from the other. Chachma is Chachma and Bin is Bin. Aval Yichud Pnimi, when they become one, which is only possible, of course, when invested in them as the one God undisguised. That's when Hashem is revealing in creation beyond Teva his essential oneness, B'chin Sevav Kalalmin, V'yichud Zeh, Nimshech Adei Avodah Davke. Truly becoming one is through avodah. To cite somewhat of a parallel is dating and even deciding to get married. So obviously you're harmonious and you're connecting and it's very romantic. No avodah. The real yichud become one mamish, that is only echad. That's only through avodah, which Pashut means surrendering the self to the other. The initial yichud, you're not surrendering, you're being complimented. On the contrary, why are you marrying this person? Because this person fulfills you. And that's how it should be. Why are you marrying this girl? Not no Mesiras Nefesh when you date, not avodah when you date. On the contrary, there's any red flag that makes you disharmonious. You walk away, not for me. That's a yichud chitzon. The yichud pnimi is dafka through avodah, and that's when the true oneness happens. And it's only through avodah, which means bittul, allowing you into my life completely, becoming completely vulnerable both ways. That is dafka through avodah. And that's the kavanah opinion. That's miraculous. That's not miraculous, where 1 and 1 equals 1. Why? Because it's an expression, it's nisis. It's an expression of the one God. So a successful marriage is a miracle. Doesn't happen without hard work. And that is the inyan of, it's a joyful work, if it's work. And that is the whole inyan of Avodah. Okay, that's the yichud pnimi. So you have some sort of understanding of these terms, Kabbalistic terms, yeah?
But the nace you see so clearly, it almost
that's right. When the ness happens, it's pretty obvious. When you see a marriage that is a marriage, it's very striking. You don't have to figure this out. You're in awe and wonder of it. B'diuk. Right? Answer your question. Yeah. So this answers what the last question is, why you? Because because there's Chodesh ניסן Shurishon Anoga Nisis. This is the beginning of what, unlike Tishrei, but this is Anoga Nisis. Pasha Tishrei is the anniversary of what?
liberation.
Yeah, in general, not just Admo, creation of the world, Anoga Tivis. And what's in this? An anniversary of? Which is the birth, latest Am Yisrael. Avodah. So in Yonesh, Chodesh ניסן, Shurishon Anoga Nisis. Shenaz Yada Yichud Pnimi. So what causes the Anoga Nisis, the miracle? It's the Yichud Pnimi. So Inyan Shabbat the Avodah Dafka, that's through Avodah. It's through Avodah that the impossible, the miracle happens, that we truly unite with each other and we reveal in creation the Eibush in an undisguised way. Otherwise, it's disguised.
But the physically, it's just we had to get shlaka and then away. So where was the element of then?
Yeah, so good question. So what starts with the Zerusa de Leila, even then right away became Zerusa de Tatas V'Resoimer. So in a way, it's the biggest miracle. We didn't even want it. He made it happen. Okay, so he starts it off miraculously, and we have to respond with Avodah. Zerusa de Tata, Zerusa de Leila first, then Zerusa de Tata. But even then, to this story says that even the Zerusa de Leila, Hashem doesn't want it completely unilaterally. So even in Yetzias Mitzrayim, there was a big Mesiras Nefesh. Big Mesiras Nefesh was, you had to take the god of the Egyptians and slaughter it and keep it for 4 days. 4 days. So it was not like get this over and done with without them noticing. And they worshipped it. And they would, why are you doing this? And they got to tell them, we're going to slaughter this and we're going out of, it was tremendous. And not only that, they had to put the blood on the doorpost. Mind you, it was on the inside. And moreover, I mean, this inyan of not disguising it, this public display, repudiating idolatry and the former slave. I mean, just the mentality that I was the slave, and now so this rebellion, the spiritual rebellion there against their former taskmasters required great courage. It's one of the reasons why it has to be roasted. The Korban Pesach. It's one of the reasons to be roasted. So it has to be on an open fire, undisguised. Then you can't put this in a pot and cover it with water and then spice it so that they can't tell what they do. You slaughtered and you're eating the god of the Egyptians. The whole process was public, mamish. Tzli Eish, an open fire, and it can be seen there, it can be seen what it is. So even in Mitzrayim, even there was avodah that had to precipitate Yitzias Mitzrayim Mamash.
That explain also why in general Rosh Chodesh Tishrei is considered Shapha, Lamata Lamaila, and Pesach ניסן is Lamaila Lamata.
Yeah, that could explain that too. Yeah,
Contrary to
the avodah here part of it. Yeah, the avodah part of it is that it should be sustained. Hachodesh ניסן gives the koyach, but to reveal that koyach, that Indian throughout the year, we need the avodah for that. So this is the Amshacham B'Lamaila, that's ניסן B'Lamaila Lamata. Hashem came, as you point out, Hashem came down and took us out. And we're saying that even before that there was avodah, but still the main point when he says the avodah is to connect to that and reveal that constantly, the miracles. So the Amshachah Klolis is ניסן, but then Kol Chodshei Hashana, that's our avodah that has to bring that. That's why we mention Yitzias Mitzrayim every day, to be mamshech the miracle every day. Pashat Begashmius. Pashat Begashmius is so many levels that we're still around, surrounded by 70 wolves, the miracle, and Parnasa, and the miracles that we just witnessed. Chodesh ניסן. I mean, it has to be spoken about. I mean, the Rebbe spoke about this in Tafshin Nun. He quoted the Gemara that the Eibishter wanted to make Chizkiyahu HaMelech Mashiach and didn't because of one failing. He had all the milas, but he did not sufficiently praise the Eibishter for the miracles that Hashem would perform for him. There's a big shturim then that the Persian Gulf War to be mefarsim, the Nisim, v'chulu. We dare not be silent now after what we just witnessed. Wouldn't take more, the 1 or 2, 3 to get through it, the barrage of hundreds of missiles. They all, one slipped through, and the devastation it would have caused. I'm sure there are military analysts that are pointing this out in all objectivity. It's melubash b'derech hateva, but delude ourselves the kirche b'yitzim yodi. Has to be a shtur. Maybe that's not for you now. Kapon, let's go further. Yeah, we said this. Yeah.
Almost the Lochem.
The Lochem, how does it shaykh l'bnei Yisrael to be megal and reveal the kavana pnimi is pashat, right? The yichud pnimi. The kavana pnimi is the undisguised revelation of the Ein Sof Lamata. Who is this entrusted with this mission? Lochem. Eden, you. Given Shem Peil im Ingen Zeh, Yidden reveal the Gili of the Eibishter beyond creator in a revealed way, Al Yedei Dosim through their Avodah. Yeah, Eis Gimel. We're good so far, guys. Little feedback? Yeah? Good. Eis Gimel. I glanced at it, didn't understand it, so we're going to learn it together now. So your input is welcome now and always. Pardon? You need a boost? I'll wait for you. This is a difficult ice. Okay, I'll wait for you. You make the effort to come, I'll wait for you.
This is now the Rebbe's beer, or it's still in the river shop?
No, this is being a kosher. Looks like the Rebbe. You know what? You have to see. To see if
he's a Yesh Levi, or maybe is the Rebbe already starting to explain?
Yesh Levi is the Rebbe. Yeah. No, I don't think so. That would have been answered in my. Have a cooked on. Okay. This is we're talking about the mile of ניסן of Tishrei is true of the general inyan of the month, the Hachodesh. Later Chodesh ניסן, Chodesh Al-Gula, not just Chodesh ניסן, Chodesh Al-Gula, but Bachlal the inyan of the months, in contrast to the sun, the year. Of course, the month is connected with the cycle of the moon. You do a Maimer, Rabbi Avram ibn Israel. It was also Svardish, the Kubbel, or the Pirish on the Chumash. So he writes, the sun doesn't have months, there's no cycle, there's no months, it just has its orbit. Vein the Levana Shona, and the year doesn't, I'm sorry, the months don't have a year. Right? Just the months repeat their cycle. There's no, after 12 months, there's any change? There's no change. And in the months, in the sun circling the earth, there's no change in a month. It's just this steady, you follow, right? Yeah. So what's the inyan? Hachodesh is the rebirth of the Hachodesh comes from the word chidush. Yeah. Zinyan shel chidush, this is something novel, because imagine the first time someone looking at the moon on day 30 and it's disappeared. He's watching it get smaller and smaller. That's it. It's over, boys. And the next night, whoa, back again. So it's a chidush, it's a rebirth. And we call it taka the moiled. And it's called the conjunction, I think, right? And but the sun doesn't wax and wane and disappear. The sun is continuous and doesn't have the enough novelty of Kiddush of rebirth. Now, it's not worthy. I just looked at this, didn't understand it, so let's look at it. This is all the mind of the Rebbe Rashab, yeah. This certainly is. That with this he explains the Maimer, in the Maimer, yeah. Okay, the Das HaShalom. So it seems there are different opinions in Kabbalah about Chodesh and Shona, what levels exactly, or sun and moon, what exactly they represent. Of course, there's no machlokes, it's both, but this is the opinion of the Shalom. Who says, Chodesh b'malchus, Chodesh represents, this is Malchus d'Atzilus, v'Shona b'bina Tiferes. So Shona is a revelation of Bina Tiferes. So which is high? Chodesh or Shona? Obviously what? The year, which is represented by the sun, represents a divine revelation that's higher than the moon represents, because, right? Chodesh is Malchus and the year is Bina or Tiferes. Okay, like the Alter explained to the Master says also, because the third part is Nitzavim. Shona, yeah, Claude, Gavaya Harbe Bechinas Chodesh. That Shona is much higher. Now, what are we saying till now? The opposite. We're saying that Chodesh, which is ניסן, Adrabah, that is the Ein Sof, and Tishrei, which is Shona, that's Teva. He started off the square brackets by saying, well, you had a question for me, I'm sorry. Yeah. I see you called me. You're okay? Right, I'll speak to you. What's that?
He's nervous.
He's a real first-time dad.
Yeah.
Although there are even some first-time dads with that. Okay, so Lahoyer shall pizeh mevayer. What dal pizeh? Dal pizeh is everything we said till now. The Rebbe Rashab is explaining the statement of the Shalah, but the statement of the Shalah is that which is higher, Shona. So let's see where this is going. And nonetheless, so even though the Shalah is saying that which is higher, Shon is higher because that's Tiferes, or Bina Tiferes, and Chodesh is Malchus. Nonetheless, as our pasuk says, Chodesh ניסן is Rishon l'Chod Shashon. Ki, reconciling this contradiction, The klol is Achai Shenimche B'Rosh Hashanah Kol Hashana. What's the chsodin, as it were, that of the chayis that's drawn Rosh Hashanah ain't by Yischalkus the Chadoshim. There's no division into months. This is the sun. This is solar. Ki chay yizeh mepchines chama comes from the sun. Vein lachama Chadoshim klal. There's no months at all. Avol keshenimshach hachayis bepchines levana. But when the life force descends into the moon, now this is quite literal, the light of the sun is reflected by the moon. Azayin yischalek lepchinas chadoshim, that's when we get the months. Ula chadoshim, Nisan Rishon, and chadoshim, Nisan is the first, in the brackets. Now, so what is he saying? He's saying somehow, he doesn't elaborate, but l'chayre, he's saying that the Shalom clearly the moon is higher, the moon is mashpia, but the moon is Zoh, right? And I'm sorry, the sun is Zoh, and the moon is Malchus, so the moon is higher. But yet Malchus, which is the source of Chadoshim, our Maimer is saying generally is higher. It's miraculous, yeah? So, but what does this mean? This is Ur Chayz, the mile of Ur Chayz over Ur Yosha, the mile of Avodah, the mile of Tshuva, the general theme of Chassidus, the mile of Tshuva over the Tzadikim, which is the sun, and predictable. The sun is another parallel. The sun is predictable. That is Avodah Tzadikim, and in that sense, it's higher. Like the previous mile, there's a mile in each one. Which one is which matron? Which one is greater? Para or Pesach. So one, and there is a mile to the Chama. Dafka the consistency, and Dafka the unchangingness. But then there's the mile of Dafka of the Levana, the mile of Shinui, the mile of Chiddush, the mile of Tshuva, the mile of Ur Chayze, the mile of Agila, which comes after the concealment. That's the whole mile of Malchus. That's a miracle. That's a miracle, basically. Why is it a miracle? Because if you lost your light, you're over. And yet, come back again and forever present, despite the ups and downs. In our history, persecution, it looks like the light will be extinguished. So many times you came so close. And yet Yidden survived. That's miraculous. Survival of a Yidden Pashut is a reflection of all of this. Miraculous. Not constant. And flux and change, but in the end, them is a miracle. So that seems to be what he's saying here. Okay. So continue Bez Hashem tomorrow. Vinyan Bez, God willing, tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful day. There'll be simchas and miracles and this and niflois, which we have and should reveal in an open way. Aren and niflois, Pasha Mashiach is coming without delay. Today, take it from Yad Mamish.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. See you all to Bris.